How are we doing? Raven fans, Oriole fans, thank you very much for joining us here this evening here on our Thanksgiving Eve edition of the Ravori Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So we want to thank you, all of you, for tuning in this Wednesday night. I know big travel day and a lot of you are going places. So I see guys here and here watching, and I want to thank all of you that have taken any part of your Thanksgiving holiday to spend with us. We will be here tonight and tomorrow night after the Ravens game is over as well. We go live after every game. More than happy to go ahead and do that, be a part of your day. Happy Thanksgiving. Before I get to all the sales and the shilling that I do, I want to thank you. Find one reason to be thankful. I say this to my kids all the time. I say that to people I love all the time. Find one reason to be thankful. I'm thankful that I'm alive still at the age I'm at. The older I get, I'm more thankful for that. Thankful for the Ravori family, the Ravori wife, and the Ravori girls that I have. And I want to thank all of you for watching. I really appreciate that. All of our platforms have been growing, and I want to thank all of you for that. Thank all of you out here right now. I know we're going through a lot of tough times. We're doing whole different world that we're living in. So I want to thank everybody again for watching, who's taking any part of their day to spend with us and hang out. And we thoroughly grateful for that. All right. Genesis Notary Services, if you know, you know, in Winchester, Virginia. So definitely hang out in Winchester, Virginia with us. We really appreciate all of you for signing up with us, who have spent time with us every week. Phone is beeping, text messages, phone calls, Facebook messages, all that. We thank all of you for that as well. The flagship ravorisports.company.site. It did go down for maintenance for like about 3-4 days there. So and I did get a message, so I did go ahead and correct that as well. There was an issue with it, so we went ahead and got that corrected with the website. So ravorisports.company.site, got that all corrected. Definitely check it out this time of year. I know it's holidays are coming right now. If you want to get, this is the perfect time for you to go out and get that Ravens jerseys, the Orioles jerseys, this Black Friday. If you want the brand new stuff, we have our links to Fanatics as well. So definitely check all that out. We're probably doing a giveaway. I don't have an announcement official yet, but for Super Bowl, we definitely could be doing something if you subscribe or bring subscribe. So keep that in mind as well. It's coming. All right. And also to Harris Legal Shield. Definitely check that out. Our Legal Shield as well. For those of you out here that are looking for legal assistance cheaply, definitely, if you're a small business owner, please check out Legal Shield. I keep saying that. I know I'm involved with it, but man, you guys are really missing a good opportunity to save money and help you with your business and all that. Man, you need lawyers. like if you're dealing with small business, dealing with government regulation, dealing with a lot of these things, you need lawyers, man. And so that's a good thing to have out here. So definitely go ahead and check that out. All right. Let's get to business. That I can do football. All right. Jets and Ravens is Sunday. We'll get to the game. There's a game in short order. Obviously, there's a Thanksgiving Ravens game. So let's talk about still the last week's game. Jets 10, Ravens 23 at M&T Bank Stadium. Ravens win their 5th consecutive game. So the team that was 1-5 is now thoroughly in the playoff picture, 6-5. That stretch, they had to have them all. They had to have them all to be in the fight. They're in the fight. Now in first place in the division with the Squealers. So good stuff going on there. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday. Old friend Tyrod Taylor, drafted by the Ravens in the middle rounds, definitely has had a whole career now as pretty much a backup quarterback. He was starting for Buffalo in a couple of years, but pretty much as a backup quarterback. Good job, Tyrod. About what I expected. 17 for 28, 222. Tyrod's a stopgap, decent enough quarterback. I think if he's on a better team than what he's on now, he would have be doing more, but this is about what you can expect from Tyrod at this point. What I expected. Better than Justin Fields. Better than Justin Fields. Not a lot of talent. Breece Hall is probably the straw that stirs the drink. 16 of 44. He was most effective, I thought, catching the ball out of the backfield. I thought that was really where he made his money. 4 catches, 4 receptions, 75 yards, 16 carries, 44 yards. The Jets line really got pushed in by the Ravens defensive line. I thought the line was better. The defensive line of the Ravens I thought was better. I think the pass rush to me is still lacking, but it was better in this game. They did get a couple sacks, and I think that affected Breece Hall running the football. So I do think that was an issue. Not great receivers. John Mechie was their top guy. They went ahead, as we know, they've gotten rid of a lot of their receivers. They make the trade at the deadline. So Garrett Wilson is not available right now. Mechie, 6 receptions, 65. He was the guy. Did most of the damage in the air as well. They did throw the Eli Mitchell. I thought Brandon Stevens was decent enough in this game. Brandon Stevens is a decent. I think that's right. I think that's 6 tackles. So Brandon Stevens, he didn't have 36 tackles in the game. Yeah, Brandon Stevens, I thought was probably he did a good enough job on their DBs. I think on the Ravens receivers is probably. I thought he was their best defensive player. They did get rid of Sauce Gardner. They did get rid of Quentin Williams as well. I think either Brandon Stevens or Quentin Williams I thought was good as well. But there's a lot of missing spots. Like they don't have a lot of pass rush as well. They made a lot of they made a lot of errors as well. Lamar 13 of 23, 153. I think the stats actually didn't work indicative of how bad he was. I thought Lamar in the first half, that was about as bad as I've ever seen him outside of his rookie season, as far as throwing the football. He was just missing stuff. He shouldn't. I could tell with him when he does not practice, that's a thing. When Lamar doesn't practice, you could clearly see it. And I think he hasn't really been practicing. They had a Thursday game. He's been banged up. He's got several injuries. This is the 3rd week in a row he came off with the toe where he had the injuries, but he's been banged up. But back to the point, when he came back the week of the Dolphin game, they really don't practice that week like they don't this week. They kind of just do walkthroughs. Then he played. Then he had a week off. Then he missed one practice and practiced twice. Then he hasn't had really 3 full practices in a week in a while, so I think that's come to factor. And clearly, he's not running the football. He is not really putting the cape on and running the ball up the field. This was the first time I ever saw where teams didn't play him to run at all. They treated him like a traditional pocket passer for the majority of the football game. That's exactly what they were doing with Lamar. So interesting. Second half, he was much better. I thought his accuracy was much better as far as throwing the football, but he's not running the ball. I mean, clearly, unless it's to avoid a sack or maybe even when he is running, he's going straight out of bounds. He's going straight down just to get elusive, maybe 5-10 yards of the slide. Only when necessary. There's almost no design runs right now for Lamar. So fascinating. What's going on as well. Derrick Henry, all the grief fans giving him and all this stuff, he's the 6th leading rusher in the NFL. So he had 2 TDs. There are issues with the offensive line. We know. I think to me, that's the bigger problem with Derrick Henry. The line just doesn't run blocking well. That's just clear. They can't. I've been saying this, and I hate to keep beating up off. I swear to God, I don't like criticizing to this, but you can't do anything on the right side. You just can't. Anytime you try to run the ball on the right side, it's just blown up. I mean, just often like that. Everybody's picking on. I mean, some people are saying Voorhees is not missing assignment like often, or just in the wrong spot like Falele is. I don't know why people think Voorhees just isn't strong enough. He's just not strong enough. He can't hold blocks like that. Even he's doing the right things, but he's still To quote Mike Thomas, he's not kicking enough tail. He's not big enough, strong enough at times. That's why I see with Voorhees. That's why he's struggling. That's almost a different problem. But on the right side, you can't do anything because he doesn't even know what Falele is going to be at. Like, that's the problem. Only times, and again, I saw it last year, is when they put Ricard over there or Charlie Cole or something like that, unless they have a heavy set or something like that. That's it. They can't do much on the right side. So that was supposed to be about Derrick Henry. Went into the line as well. Zay Flowers has been fantastic. I think he's your MVP of the team. He's been that good. Zay Flowers has been good every week. I would say all of his games are kind of like this: 5 receptions, 58 yards. He had a couple rushes. I'd like to see a nice 120, 130-yard game from Zay Flowers. Like, it's all pieced together with him. So I'd like to see that, a nice game like that. But that's the only way. But Zay Flowers, I think he's probably your most valuable Raven. I mean, I think so far here as well. Jermon Jones as well. I'm taking the Ravens this week. I hope you're right, brother. Jermon Jones, I think, has been a good pickup. I can tell by listening to John Harbaugh how much John Harbaugh likes him. This is a guy they can bring in right away. He understood the Ravens defense right away. He's playing. Carl Lawson came over to see the field yet. This guy's coming right in. They're using him in third down sparingly. I don't think he's an outstanding pass rusher. I do think he is, though, helping the void. Cal Van Noy really not getting as much from him so far this year. Mike Green, rookie, still coming along. So Dream, I thought, has been really, really good for them here so far. So Ravens, 23-10 over the Jets in this game. Couple things here. Jets just aren't good at football. Like, it's Bill Parcells could overcome the Jets' issues throughout the year. I'm talking about historically. And Rex Ryan. That's about it. Everybody else is almost – I mean, there isn't almost anything else in the history where I've been watching football now for – where I can remember it about 40 years now, since I was about 8 years old. I've been watching now since I was about 8 years, where I can remember players in about 40 years. There haven't been that many good Jets teams. And it's just the owner's not good. I think he's underrated for being bad. I think Woody Johnson's a terrible owner. I think they can't keep general managers. They kind of run through general managers. They've had even some decent coaches that just can't get it squared away as well. Aaron Glenn, I don't know if he's any good as a coach. Maybe he is. I think he deserves another chance, but they traded all of his talent away, so the Jets just aren't good at football. I think that's a bigger issue with the Jets. I mean, it seems like it just doesn't work with them as well. Ravens, I thought, though, weren't great in this game. I thought they weren't playing a team that was really a good NFL team, obviously. So I'd like to see them. When you're playing a team like this, I'd like to see a little bit more, really put their foot on their neck. And I kind of just didn't feel like that as well. All right. We got a game. The Ravens are getting a lot of these games on Thanksgiving night. So the Bengals and the Ravens, Thanksgiving night on NBC, not Amazon. Okay, so I know a lot of you watching these Thursday games on Amazon Prime. I've been watching them on Twitch. If you have a Twitch account, you can watch an Amazon Game Prime video. But this game is NBC has the Thursday night opener, and they have a Thursday night game on Thanksgiving. They're going to get that as well. And so the Bengals, 3-8. I think the playoffs are done for the Bengals. They'd have to pretty much run the table. And this is a big part of the Ravens schedule. They've had 11 games. You haven't played Pittsburgh yet. You haven't played Cincinnati yet. You're going to get Cincinnati 2 of the next 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see Pittsburgh. You got 2 games down the stretch. So this is now the tough stretch to finish. And let's see how the Ravens do. The Bengals twice, Steelers twice, and you have the Patriots, which I think the Patriots might be the best team in the NFC or in the AFC, or if not the NFL, and the Packers in Green Bay. So in December, right? So this is it. So this is the stretch run. Always the great John Madden would talk about, put yourself in a position to make a run for after Thanksgiving. We're here. Time for the run. Joe Burrow is going to play on Thursday night. He has been practiced. He practiced all last week. They didn't play him. He's a full go. He's ready to go. He is going to be the starter on Sunday night. What does that mean? So you're going to have to score better than you've been doing, right? It's a chance if you have Browning in this game, or just like you can kind of get away with that. Now the defense has looked good for the Ravens, much better, but they haven't really played at Joe Burrow yet, and I'm not diminishing that, but you haven't done that yet. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Chase Brown is back for the Raven. Is back 154, 620, 2 TDs. He's solid. I think the line isn't any good. I think kind of like the same problem Derrick Henry has as well. Jamar Chase, he's back from his spitting incident with Jalen Ramsey, 2 huge trash talkers as well. This is your main guy. This is the guy. This is the matchup you need to worry about. Joe Burrow going to Jamar Chase. No T. Higgins in this game. So T. Higgins is going to be missed this game. I think a concussion. And on defense, you're talking about former Raven Geno Stone. Obviously, to no Trey Henderson injury, dealing with injury as well. He's been dealing with injury pretty much most of this year as well. Bengals statistically are the worst defense in the NFL. Lamar is going to play. He just hasn't had. He's playing injured. He's fighting through it, and I think he's just trying to stay healthy. What I'm hoping is possibly after this game, if they can keep him banged up, if he's been banged up, he's going to get that kind of mini bye. He doesn't really practice this week. Obviously, they just do walkthroughs. Then you play, and then you really practice till next Thursday. So I'm thinking maybe after this game, they may ramp up Lamar a little bit for this stretch run, because then now you're going to be playing the Squealers and the Pack, etc. You're going to need him down there. We'll see. Just got to keep him healthy for the run. Derrick Henry, we already talked about 871 yards, 9 TDs. Relax. Derrick Henry's not a problem. Justice Hill, they're not going to have this game. He's out with an injury. Looks like the neck's pretty serious. Could be pretty serious. So hopefully he's okay and get that squared away. Zay Flowers growing right before us. I think he could be your most valuable Raven here as well. Let's see. Go to comments. Taking the Ravens this week. No T. Higgins. Yeah, I know. Trey Hendrickson is out. The Bengals secondary has improved a little bit. It's still bad. Kenny, their secondary has been terrible for the longest. Even when they had good defenses, their back end, I've never been a fan of it as well. Geno Stone played for us. So that tells you something. If that's your number one guy. Draymond Jones, I think Draymond Jones, 6 sacks. That's total, not with the Ravens, but the Ravens and the Titans. He is your best, I think, pass rusher right now. Definitely along with Mike Green, who's still growing right before us. I do think this is potential here of a guy that they have to watch. They're really only playing him on third down. He's really not playing on first and second down. Best that I could see a lot of the times. They're really playing him on third down. They're playing Kyle Hamilton kind of outside, and they're just kind of bringing him into rush, etc. So they're playing him sparingly as well. Kyle Hamilton looks like he's going to be ready to play. He did go out last week's game with an injury. We'll see about Kyle Hamilton as well. X factor is Lamar, simply because of all the injuries. He didn't play well last week. So let's get Lamar going, man. I mean, he hasn't been feeling 100%. I think they're going to need him, obviously, down the road. I don't think I need to tell anybody watching that they're going to need Lamar Jackson down the stretch. They are going to need Lamar Jackson down the stretch here as well. Bengals are bad at defending tight end. Bengals bad at defending a lot of things. The defense is bad. I'm seeing 2 TDs by Andrews. I think the defense is bad, period. They're just not, they're just not good. They're just not efficient at all. Mike Green, the young, he got a sack last week. Mike Green's coming along. Can he take the next step? That's what I want to see down the stretch. I want to see Mike Green at the end of the season with at least 7, 8 sacks. I want to see him every game. I see a lot of rush with him. A lot of that, I described it last week, a lot of Dafioe, but he's not getting home. I want to see him get home even more. I agree with Kenny. I agree with a lot of the people that are saying, I do think the Ravens win this football game. The Bengals historically do not play well in this situation. Joe Burrow was very upset. Once again, they have to go to Baltimore on Thursday night play. So I do think the Ravens offense shows up a little bit more, simply because I think the Bengals' defense is just terrible. And I think if they can get production from their offensive, the offensive line problems that the Ravens are having, I think will show up less in this game with the Bengals. I will say Burrow playing means you're going to have to score. This 23-10 stuff ain't going to work like against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to score some points in this game. So we will see on Thanksgiving night. We will be here after the game tomorrow night on Driving to the Top Productions and on our main channel here, Ravori Sports Podcast channel. We will go ahead and you can watch us right after the game is over. We will be here working, breaking down all the action right after the game. And that will be on right after the game. Keep in mind, I feel like I need to say it one more time. Game is on NBC Peacock tomorrow night, not on Amazon Prime, for those of you that didn't know. All right. Big 5. 5 biggest games on the schedule that are not Ravens games. 5 biggest games that are not Ravens games on the NFL schedule. So definitely check that out this week. We got one heck of a Thursday slate this week. So definitely keep that in mind. Like these games on Thursday are really, really good as well. So not just the Ravens game, but a lot of these games are really good. Last week, Big 5. Texans and the Bills. I think that kind of went how I was expected. Davis Mills is good enough to win some games for them, and their defense is just stellar. Their defense is outstanding. Even Josh Allen was having trouble against that Texans pass rush last week, and it showed. The Bills, they are, I think, it kind of goes Josh Allen goes. That's pretty clear at this point. Something is a little missing though. I think they're not as bad as people are saying, but something is missing. They seem like the eye of the tiger isn't there. They seem to lose it though in the middle of the year. So keep your eye on the Texans. Keep your eye on the Texans. I think the Texans are the best team in that division, even with the Colts and the Jags being ahead of them. That's the best team. Definitely in my view. Looking at them, Squealers and Bears. I think the Bears are for real. The Bears definitely have offense. I absolutely love what Ben Johnson is doing with Caleb Williams. Caleb is listening and applying and working hard, and they're scoring points every week. That's how they're winning these games. Defense still isn't any good, I don't think. Getting a little better, but they're scoring points every week to win these games. They're winning track meets. The Squealers, I think, not having Aaron matters. That's a problem for them. They're not so Mason's not good enough with this roster to do it. Aaron can kind of get them some wins, but they're not good enough. So that's a problem for them as well. Rams and the Bucks, that was pretty much a no contest. Rams all the way. Rams look really good every week. Rams are a really strong looking team. Bucks are pretty good. Some issues as well. I would say this. There's a difference you can see between Baker Mayfield and Matt Stafford in terms of level. Baker, as good as he's been, people are kind of right about him not being at the super elite player, a good quarterback, a real good quarterback, but not an elite status quarterback. Colts and the Chiefs. I thought I was missing one. Colts and the Chiefs. Chefs are, I think, have a huge task this week, and they do win these close games. They do know how to win these close games if they can stay in them. Mahomes really was good in this game. I mean, I think that was the reason why they won. Daniel Jones, I think, is continuing to get worse, regress. 181, it's not, again, when you go into these games in Kansas City, you gotta go ahead and get that and go ahead and get the job done in that situation. And so that's a thing. And Panthers and 49ers, that was ugly. Bryce Young's just not the guy. I think that was I like Bryce Young. I think he's got some talent. I think he's just not a guy that can elevate you. And that's an issue. I think they're going to stay with him. I don't know if they have a choice next year, but I think I've seen enough now where he's not. I mean, the Niners weren't good in this game. They turned the ball over a bunch of times and they still won. So that's it. Brock Purdy's not healthy. He's not healthy. He's not going to let Mac Jones keep playing and keep taking his job from him. So that's why he's playing. All right, Thanksgiving. I don't know if there's a game played more on Thanksgiving than the Packers at the Lions, maybe the Commanders and Cowboys. But this is for position right now in the AFC, and I'm sorry, in the NFC. So these are the two teams that I think could be definitely playing for playoff position in the NFC. They're both looking up right now at the Bears. So this is even bigger. So this is not for first place as well. Lions, I think people are being a little hyperbolic. No, they're not. It's a little hyperbolic. I think they haven't changed a lot. I think they're kind of like Buffalo. They're the same, but maybe that's not enough this year. I think there's truth to that. They have to run the ball well and stick on formula and smacking them out and play with their physicality and win games. They don't really seem to win shootouts. So I think they're always kind of win this game. I think when they have a good team, they win on Thanksgiving Day. They lose. They've lost a lot of them because they were lousy forever. But I do think they win this game. The Packers, they're more my concern. I'm more concerned about them than I do Detroit because I don't know what the Packers are going to show up. This is because Jordan Love looks good some weeks and they score some weeks and then they look bad and then so I don't know what Packers, when they are bad, they kind of go more off the reservation. So they kind of concern me more than the Lions do. I like the Lions in this game as well. Some people are helping this one to be the most watched Thanksgiving game of all time. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm honestly with you. I almost didn't put this game in until after the Cowboys won. I was thinking that this wouldn't be the Big Five matchup. I had the Panthers in here as well, but I think this is more important. I think not always the Big Five, the best records, but the five biggest games, the five best games on the schedule here. I think the Lions can run it game over. Absolutely right. Packers run defense is an issue since they traded away Kenny Clark as well. Speaking of Kenny Clark, Ken, since you brought it up, that he's on the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense has been looking better. I think they're not great. I mean, they don't have great pass rush. Defensively, I think they're a little better. I think I can tell you what, they're scoring. They're kind of like Cincinnati in the sense of if you got Prescott in the game, they're going to score. Javon Williams has been good for them. Pickens has been out of this world all season. CeeDee Lamb is back. The line is still developing. Defensive line, at least now they can stop the run. Now, I don't know how much that helps you against Kansas City because they don't run the football well anyway. I like Dallas in this game. I think the Chefs on the road, They win close games fine. I think that's good. But the problem is they're never looking like the cheat to really stick the knife. They look like that too, and I just haven't seen that. They're winning close games as well. This is also a big loss for the loser. Absolutely. Dallas, I thought, might have been dead had they lost last week, but they won. They're a couple games behind Philly, and so are the Chefs, the Chargers, and Denver in their division. So this is big. Whoever wins this game may be saving their playoff hopes or at least helping the life support of them here as well. Bears and Eagles. This week is the big week of the big game in college football, Ohio State and Michigan. And I'm bringing that up because I think of how Ohio State fans react to losing to Michigan, right? Even after winning the national championship, we hate Ryan Day because he didn't beat Michigan, right? And let's see. Dallas had a very nice draft and running defense, and they have a lot of picks. Right, absolutely right. But what it is why am I saying that? Why am I mentioning that? It is Eagle fans are insufferable. You guys just, I'm sorry, you guys just are. You're blaming Jalen Hurts for what exactly? You're 8-3. You won the Super Bowl. You're comfortably in first. I don't know if you'll get the number 1 overall seed. They've had some injuries, Barkley, some issues. But, like, you guys are just, like, it's just, like, never happy. Like, the Bear fans, this is the contrast here. Bears fans are doing cartwheels, and they're foreign. They haven't won anything yet. This is what it is. Hurts has only 1 interception this season. Right, exactly. Like, you Bear fans are can't complain about that. But I see them complaining every day about Jalen Hurts. Like, it's unbelievable. Eagles win this game. I think they're the better team. I think the Bears have been scoring points, but their defense has been getting away. I think the Eagles find ways to win. I think their offense is good. Hurts, I think, is having an outstanding season, which is why I'm really confused about why you guys are just running him out of town. I've never seen a place like Philly run great players out of town. You boo Dr. J. You boo Donovan McNabb. You boo Jimmy Rollins after he won the MVP. You're booing Mike Smith. Like, what, you guys? What is wrong with y'all? Like, why are you so unhappy even when you win? So, Texans and Colts, let's get to that. I definitely like the Texans here. Texans, I think, are on the rise. I think the slow start hurt them as well. A lot of issues on offense as well. They, other than the Ravens, I think they bounce back as much as any team. I think the Colts, I think they're kind of getting exposed. They have Jonathan Taylor going crazy during the season. This is big for them. They really need to win this game and get some momentum back. They've lost a couple games, but I've seen it lately now with what really good teams they are exposed. Their offense really isn't explosive. They really just throw to the sideline. The defense is pretty good. I don't know if you're going to have Stroud in this game, but I think Davis Mills should be starting for somebody with some of the quarterbacks I've seen as well. I think I've said that a couple times. I like the Texans against the Colts, and the Bears haven't beat very good teams. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They lost. The Ravens beat them with a backup quarterback. So, as well. Let's see. One more. Daniel Jones won't have the stomach for that Houston defense. Absolutely not. Daniel Jones, I think, I'm giving him some credit for at least playing as well as he has, because Daniel Jones was terrible. All right. Last one, Bills and Steelers. I really think we're coming to the end of the Mike Tomlin era in Pittsburgh. I really do. I think people have had enough of him. As great as he's been, I really almost want him to go somewhere else. Not just because I'm a Ravens fan, but I think like he's just I just don't know how much more he can do in Pittsburgh. I do think they lose this game. Not having Aaron matters in this case. Not having Aaron Rodgers, that's a problem for y'all. That's a problem for y'all. You not having Aaron Rodgers is a thing as well. I have the Bills in this one. Yeah, I agree again. I think the Bills are a better team. Bills' offense is good. I'm not. Their issues. Their receivers aren't great, but they're going to score a lot of points. They can run the football. I don't think the Steelers do anything well except pass rush. I think when the games they get good pass rush, watch, etc. That's about all they do. There you go. All right. Big five biggest games on the schedule that are not Ravens games. So definitely check out this weekend. All right. So let's move on here. We got one more comment. Bills are not scoring like they used to. Allen has been getting with a lot of turnovers. Allen, up until the last 2 years, did a lot of turnovers. That was kind of a knock on him because he's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the ball and get a lot of turnovers, but that's kind of the knock on Allen. Allen, I think, though, is a zillion years better than anything in Pittsburgh right now. Pittsburgh doesn't do anything well. Pittsburgh, I think they play with their schemes are very vanilla. They don't really do anything exotic. They do basic stuff, which is why they could do that. And their roster is old. They have some good players, some really good players. Metcalf is good. Watt is good. Highsmith is good. Ramsey's good. They have some good players. Their linebackers, but they're not. They have some issues. I say let Howard start if Aaron is out. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I understand might as well take a look, but I don't know. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Maryland game last week. Maryland and Michigan. Not a lot to go over here because this was just typical Mike Locksley stuff in terms of how you do against the Big Ten. Bryce Underwood, it was good to see him actually play a whole game, so this was good. 16 and 23, 2 TDs. I believe that I'm a little bit more believer of the hype of Bryce Underwood in terms of how good he's going to be. He's got a little bit ways to go as a passer. He doesn't look to me as good as Malik Washington. That's kind of what I've seen all year. He can run with the football. He's a dual threat. He's got a good receiver, a good number one receiver, and I think that's a real thing. Terps did better than Syracuse. Just barely. Yeah, I hear you. Brian Console from Michigan. It's funny. I was thinking about, well, Justice Haynes is not going to play in this game, and maybe that helps the Terps. And they've been getting gashed on the ground now for several games in a row. They just 20 carries, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. Andrew Marsh, clearly, definitely to an emerging receiver. You're going to see this combination for the next several years. 5 receptions for 1 TD as well. Derek Moore got 1 sack as well. So I think definitely here's a guy who is going to get drafted and play on Sunday. Malik Washington is a guy here, 19 for 39, 210 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. They're not helping Malik. They're not helping him. As good as he's been, he's throwing the ball way too much. You're not helping your quarterback. You're not helping your quarterback as well. Again, not a lot of production from Juwan Williams, 12 carries, 40 yards. There's something there, but there's something missing with Juwan Williams. I see him. He's not in any way a complete running back. It's just not. Hold on a second. I'm recording. So he's not a complete running back by any sense. That's the thing with him. Sulik Knotts, I think, is capable of good things and big plays, but he doesn't. He's capable of good things and makes some good plays, but he's just way too many drops, way too many crucial drops. I'm out having a good show. He always does too. Like when I start talking baseball and other stuff. That's my man. I thank you, sir. Back on it. So Sidney Stewart, Maryland, he had 1 sack. Again, the same guy, he got thrown out again as well. You're not good enough to beat Michigan. Michigan was way too physical, way too strong, way too this. This is the same music. I don't think it gets better next year under Mike Locksley. We'll see. I think the only hope is you get Malik Washington back, and I think that's kind of what they're thinking. They're hoping they can kind of retain some more of these players as well, and they can build their offense out, et cetera, as well. When they had Tuli, Atunga Lailoa, they were doing well, but they just, that's just, they're just not good enough. Not good enough in the Big Ten as well. Finale this week against the Wolverines of Michigan State. So that'd be one heck of a basketball game, Maryland and Michigan State. But this is football, as we know. And so this will be the last game, no bowl. So will be the finale. So this will be it for the Terps as far as football season goes as well. Hopefully they're going to try and close with a victory. I think this one, Michigan State is probably a team more in the league. Let's see if they have any fight left in them. Let's see if they have any pride. That's strictly what this is for. We'll cover the Terps a little bit more for the last game of the season here as well. But it's so frustrating because you're not competitive in the Big Ten at all. You're not really trying. I don't want to say you're not trying, but in order to go ahead and have success in the Big Ten, you're gonna have to be more competitive. You're gonna have to do a little bit more in terms of that. So there you go. That is college football as well. So let's go ahead. All right. So let's stick with the University of Maryland. We're going to talk a little college basketball this week. So it has been a busy week for the Terps college basketball. Right now, they are in the Strip in Las Vegas playing college basketball, obviously, because they're a college basketball team. And they're right now, it's going to start here tonight at 12 o'clock. So those of you definitely check out True TV, watch Maryland and Alabama Crimson Tide actually go ahead and play college and play in the tournament. I think I've said it a couple of times, and I'm going to say it one more time here. I just don't like college basketball, guys. You're not trying. Stop with these neutral site games where no one goes. Stick with the campus stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to put that. I mean, as far as it goes, you got these neutral site games and no one's going as well. So let's talk about a little bit about this week. I'll even start with the Mount. So last week, tough game. I think this was on about the same time, so we didn't cover it in totality. Terps beating Mount St. Mary's 95-90. Dickie Colt actually bailed him out. I think he had a huge night. It was like 40 points in the game at Mount St. Mary's. So almost even a team like the Mount really took them to overtime. The Terps are playing with several injuries. There's no Pharrell Payne for a couple games. They're still missing Solomon Washington. Miles Rice has missed a couple games with injuries. So that's cost them. So that's been a thing. So I think it's kind of thinned their depth a little bit as well. So the Mount really pushed them, but they were able to get the win 95-90. They were successful against Nevada, Las Vegas. The Running Rebs, 74-67. That's about the same level of a team that they're playing. They did go ahead when they struggled in the first half. They didn't play well at all early. They were losing in the first half, but they did actually get it done in the second half as well. Game was on late. Pharrell Payne actually played. That's fantastic. He's actually got on the court after that horrific-looking injury that he had. Darius Adams, Dickie Colt. That's the nucleus, the best that I can see so far. So they got Dickie Colt. It's like a 5'11". He's not even though he's less than 6 feet, he's not a point guard. He's a hybrid shooting guard, Trae Young type guard there as well. Darius Adams, I think he's the 5-star. He's a guy that's going to be good for them as well. And Pharrell Payne's been good in every game he's played. So that was good. So that's what happened there. Gonzaga totally just took him off the basketball. And that's interesting to see because that's not the level you're at then. Because Gonzaga's a top 12 team. They're 7-0. Mark Few again. Brandon Huff had like 20 points in that one for the Zags. The Terps are getting it pretty much from the same guys in terms of offense. Darius Adams at Payne, they're going to get it every night. Colt didn't play as well in this one as well. Badger Sanders is not really getting much offense. They've kind of swapped out. Andre Mills, I think, is getting more time lately. Jamal DePino is starting early, a little bit less. Isaiah Watts hasn't played as much as he thought, so interesting to see. But they clearly got smoked out of the building with Gonzaga. Let's see how they do tonight against a good top 10 Alabama team. Hopefully you do better, but I think it's what I can see. You're not a team that's there yet. You got to build it a little bit. They still have had some injuries. They still haven't had the team in a lot of ways as they want, healthy and whole. When you rebuild the whole thing like this, it's going to take a minute. You're going to have to. I don't see how you win the Big Ten or anything like that so far from what I've seen as well, even though it's still very early. Let's go ahead and share screen because there was big news today, and I'm sure some of you watching Oriole fans already know. We're going to roster breakdown. I don't know if I can get it full screen here. I'm going to see. I don't know if you can see that. But it's trending on Twitter. You can see that. There you go. So, and you see it there. And as Oriole fans, we've been waiting and hoping and looking at this for a while, but it's official. Dylan Cease, all the talk, man, every day, 2024, we were talking about Dylan Cease and the possible trade, and circling, goes to San Diego, becomes a free agent, and now he is signed with the AL pennant winning Blue Jays. 7 years, over $200 million as well. I think 210. Jeff Passan and others reported. So the Cease watch is finally over. He is going to the Blue Jays. Interesting, a couple years ago, you heard about the taxes in Canada and all those things, and it's difficult. And all of a sudden now, the Blue Jays have completely turned that around, possibly getting, I think, this is the safest free agent pitching acquisition you can get. This is one you're worried about, especially in a big pitching park like Skydome, the former Skydome Rogers Center. That's definitely a thing there as well. So let's go ahead. So we're going to break down the roster. There will be no Dylan Cease on it, obviously. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the depth chart. So next week we're going to break down this week we're going to break down the depth. Next week we're going to look at what the lineup would look like. Okay, the hot stove is happening. Obviously, we're really going to dive in that, especially once we get to winter meetings. But let's look at the depth of the team right now, how to roll it out. Built kind of strange, so it's interesting. So, as of right now, depth chart for the Orioles. Adley Rutschman is still here as the catcher. It's funny the Adley talk now. All of a sudden, we can't trade Adley. We can't. I don't know if you guys can make up your mind. Like, all of a sudden, Adley, oh no, we can't possibly. So I don't get it. But Adley, as right now, is on the team. I don't know if they're going to trade him. I would think it would have to be a really good trade for them to move Adley. So we'll see. Samuel Basayo, I think, is going to be on the roster, obviously, and Maverick Henley is there. They did recently trade away Alex Jackson, who I thought was really good last year as well. But they went ahead and they traded him away as well. The catcher depth in the minor league system that the Orioles have and at the major league level is unprecedented. Ike Irish, Caden Bodine, Creed Williams, those guys, none of them will be. I mean, all those guys could be major leaguers as well. And you have like 3 major league levels that we just talked about. So interesting to see how that goes. I think it is Kobe Mayo's job to lose at first base as of now, but barring that you don't sign Pete Alonso or somebody like that. They did pick up Mounty's contract, so I think he'll play. I think I could see them bringing him back as well. He'll DH some, he'll play some first, etc. Sam Basayo, I think, is also going to play some at first. I think he's going to be the one they're going to move around a little bit. Nothing to think about here. Jackson Holiday, I think, is going to start at second base for sure. He's going to be your leadoff guy. I don't think there's any question about it. Jeremiah Jackson, bat speed looked really good. I do see him in the infield as a possible Mateo replacement as well. He did look a little green in the outfield last year. Not bad in the outfield, but I think he just looked a little green. So I think like him playing infield, second base, third base, a utility role, and some outfield, I think is appealing. Peyton Estelis, if you don't know who that is, he was who was Alex Jackson was traded for. Not Alex. Wasn't Alex Jackson traded? I think it was the Alex Jackson trade. But he was traded. He's actually been assigned to Norfolk. I think they are going to give him a shot to go to the major league roster. It is possible, not for sure. Kind of the same at third with those backups, Jeremiah Jackson, Estris. Westberg for sure is going to be your third baseman. The only flaw with him is can Westberg just stay healthy for a whole calendar year, as good as Westberg has been for them. Westberg has been fantastic. Gunnar Henderson, same. I think Gunnar, I'm saying that was a down year for Gunnar. I'm saying. I think some people are defending it. We got to have more from him if the Orioles are going to be successful. You look at what they just did in Toronto. I think you are going to have to be more successful. You're going to have to get more from Gunnar Henderson. And I think he'll do more. I think like this was just an aberration. Protecting him would help. I think that would help too. But I saw a lot of with him last year, not driving the ball. A lot of singles, a lot of doubles, a lot of stuff like that. I think like not driving the ball. He kind of was protecting his average because he wasn't driving the ball. Sam Basayo, I think, is going to get the opportunity to be the DH now with no Ryan O'Hearn on the roster anymore and Ryan Mountcastle. There's some shot Mounty could be the everyday DH. I think there's a shot at that. I think if he can take it from him, we'll see how Basayo does. I don't like rookies being an everyday DH. I just don't. I think rookies still have to develop. Now, he's not a normal rookie, obviously. He already has the extension. He's already has a cup of coffee. He's played last year already. So, again, but as of right now, I do think this is the way it's going to go. I think they're going to keep Rushman and try Basayo at DH. I think it's going to go that way. I think they feel better with Rushman behind the plate. But we still don't know yet because we're still early in the offseason. The new addition, Taylor Ward, I think I've already said it. I think the expectation is Michael Elias was very excited to have him, that this is the guy that Tyler O'Neill was supposed to be like as well. 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs, outfield presence, good defensive player. Taylor Ward's pretty good. He's not horrible. Like I've seen, I think they're a little bit less excited. I think I can understand fans mourning the Grayson loss, or at least what we thought was Grayson was going to be. But Tyler Ward is not bad. I mean, definitely for a 1 year situation. Tyler O'Neill, I don't think he starts. I think he's a fourth outfield at this point. I don't believe they're going to take any at bats away from Taylor Ward and play Tyler O'Neill. So I think that's the way it goes. I'll see. Maybe if he's good in the spring, but spring nowadays, it doesn't even seem to matter. Like if guys have good springs and it doesn't seem to do anything. So seem to have their minds made up. Colt Cowser, I think, as of right now, is going to start center. Here's another one, guys. Fans like, I like Cowser. I still like Cowser. I think Cowser honestly wasn't healthy last year. I think he should have been out longer than what he was. He's, again, I think the biggest problem with Cowser, I think he's got that, what I call the Bill Ripken in him. You got to stop running through every wall. You got to stop running through diving. You got to play with a little less recklessness. That's always a tough thing to tell a player, because when you have a player like that, you like that someone as a manager, etc. But I think that's a problem. It's keeping him on the shelf. So I think that is an issue for him. Jeremiah Jackson, I think, is going to get some time in the outfield. Nuke Banfield, I think you're going to see him at some point for sure. I think he possibly, and I don't know for sure, could be viewed as a long-term answer as well. He's got to get his average up at AAA. I don't think right off the bat, I think it's a great thing out there, but seeing an average up at AAA, I think is a thing. Right field, Dylan Beavers, I think he's your guy in right field. I think he was great. I think he was really good at the end of last year. I don't think he didn't look like a rookie at all. He came right up and hit. This guy's really paid his dues. I don't think he's a great outfielder, but who cares? With the hitting, I think he's good enough in the outfield. I think he's got to work on that. Tyler O'Neill, Heston Kjerstad, we'll see what role he has as well. I think Kjerstad is going to get a shot to make the team. I think him as a starter, I can't see it though. But I definitely see him as a 4th, 5th outfielder. I think that's definitely a possibility. It depends on how many infielders they take. I think if you keep 5 outfielders, I think Heston Kjerstad absolutely has a shot to make the team. The rotation as it stands right now, Trevor Rogers, Kyle Bradish, Dean Kramer, Tyler Wells, Cade Povich. There really isn't a guy in the minors that would take these spots. So I think you're looking at that. I don't think Braxton Bragg or Michael Ferret. I think they're a little ways away. I don't think like that. Chase McDermott. I think this is it. I mean, if you don't sign, and Cease is obviously off the board, this is what you got. I think this is how it's going to look as well here at the start. Bullpen, I think, is still a work in progress. But right now, Kittredge, I think, would be the 9th inning guy if it started right now. Batista did resign. I don't know if you're certainly not going to have him at the start. You may have him at some point during the year. Keegan Aiken, Yadier Cano, Dietrich Enns, Cage Stroud, Rico Garcia. They were good at the end of last year, except for Cano. Not really. But the rest of them were I think the reason they run it back, they realized in August they kind of struggled. In September, the bullpen wasn't bad anymore. I mean, it really wasn't terrible. Craig Stroud was solid. Rico Garcia was solid. Keegan Aiken, maybe he's not a 9th inning guy. Getting Kittredge back, I think they are going to look for a closer. Fairbanks maybe on the roster as well. They did sign back. Edwin Diaz, etc. is already signed. So interesting to see what happens there. Happy Thanksgiving. Find one reason to be thankful. All of you, we will be thankful for a Ravens victory tomorrow night. Thank you. Happy holidays to all of you out there. And thank you for taking the time, for all of you in the chat, for all of you watching. Happy Thanksgiving from Ravori Sports. You have a great day.